All right, so let's talk about the Nats over the weekend. They had not been playing very well, guys. As you know, they lost 4 straight before yesterday. Max Scherzer did not look good on Saturday. They did have a rain delay, so he only pitched 5 innings. But the bullpen wasn't great there. On Friday night, our boy Enny Romero gave up a 2-run shot to Kurt Suzuki. I believe like in the bottom of the 8th, they lost that game 7-4. So the bullpen in the first couple of games of the series against the Braves in Atlanta, they were not good. Yesterday, Strasburg took the mound. They did beat the Braves 3-2. He pitched great. I believe he struck out 11 in 7 2/3, threw 118 pitches, got the win. He's 5-1. Coda Glover came in, pitched to 4 batters, and got the save. So he got his 3rd save, got a strikeout. So the bullpen didn't implode yesterday like they had in the first 2 games of the series.
I looked at the statistics for the bullpen. I mean, it is just so bad. I mean, Glover's been okay. Albers actually has a decent ERA. And then you go down to, I think, the 3rd reliever on the list, and he's got a 5.75 ERA, and it only gets worse. Trinan had another bad performance. His ERA's getting close to 9, almost like a run per inning.
If you listen to the Dusty comments after each game, he's damn near speechless. He's just like, we need help. Man,
and then when he gets a performance from Strasburg, who went 7 2/3, he's like, we needed that.
Yeah. He's putting them out there for extra couple batters just to try to avoid. And he said it last night. He goes, you hate to see a guy work hard for 2 hours and 40 minutes and then give up the lead, the game, throw it all away in 40 seconds.
By the way, Strasburg in particular this is kind of stats geeky, but in particular was effective on curveballs. He threw more curveballs than usual, 28% curveballs, and Braves hitters were 0 for 10 with 8 strikeouts versus the curve.
Yeah, they couldn't hit him until
I've never seen a curveball before.
I kept waiting.
Strasburg has a really good curve.
I kept waiting for him to implode this year, after the way that last year ended. And remember, I said,
you mean injury-wise?
Oh, yeah. But I also said, remember, he started, like 14-1 or whatever it was last year, something crazy. And I said, well, that's not going to happen. Well, he's 5-1.
Okay, but he could still
implode.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's over.
If he stays healthy, he's just too good where he's going to have a good record if he stays healthy.
But sure seems like it.
That's the problem. He never does.
Right.
So let's see what his record is in July and August after he's been on the DL a couple times. But hopefully for the Nats, he's not. Anyway, offensively, Trey Turner went over yesterday. He's down to 236.
You're obsessed with Trey Turner.
No, I just want the guy to start hitting the ball well.
I feel like ever since you asked Rizzo the question.
You're rooting against him?
Man, why did you mention Trey Turner?
I'm not.
What are you doing over there?
I'm not rooting against him. Believe me, I'm not.
There's something going on there since the Rizzo question.
He's just in a massive slump in the last month.
Well, that was one I got right when I said he's not going to perform anywhere near like he did last year.
Harp had a hit and an RBI yesterday, and Zim had a hit. So, their numbers are obviously slipping because they were so elevated.
But they're still
to start the year. But they're still, Harp's hitting 349, Zim's hitting 362. Murphy hit a home run yesterday, number 9 for him. So the Nats are off tonight, and Seattle comes. So they're back home tomorrow. Seattle comes to town for 3, and then I believe it might be San Diego after that.
I believe the only worse bullpen
San Diego this weekend.
Than the Nats, the Mariners.
Nice.
We should see a lot of runs.
We don't
in that
focus
series.
on the rest of Major League Baseball on the show. We mostly focus on the Nats.
I
just happen to see Mike Trout is having another absurd year.
Yeah, he's silly.
He's already outperforming Bryce.
He doesn't have down years.
Bryce is having a ridiculous year. Is he outperforming Bryce?
Well, he's got 14 homers, so
Bryce has 13.
Yeah, he's got one more,
and
I believe their batting average is about the same.
Right.
But see, Trout has the track record the last 4 or 5 years of doing that every single year.
He doesn't have down years.
He doesn't have down years. He's really good.
Well, maybe he'll get hurt.
Is that what you're rooting for?
Well, I mean, that's what happens to Bryce. Bryce gets hurt, and then it all falls apart.
Well, he get hurt last year.
He was hurt, 100%.
Everybody just guaranteed.
He
says he wasn't hurt. Everybody says he wasn't hurt.
Let's see.
He's trying to be tough.
So the Nats still have a 7-game lead over the Braves, and then the Mets are just a mess.
Like I said, division.
The Angels killed the Mets yesterday. When you mentioned Trout, he hit a bomb. And then the rest of the division's terrible. All right, last but not least, more baseball. Tim Tebow. Got to talk about Tim Tebow because Bick loves Timmy T.
I'm Team Tebow.
I feel like this is a Trey Turner update. I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
No. They're talking about possibly
calling him
up to low Class A. High Class A. Right now he's at Columbia, which is low Class A.
Right.
He hit another home run yesterday. That's 2 strikeouts. So if his name was Tim Smith, called up. But if you read the story about the financial reasons to call him up,
Puts the butts in the seats.
now the Mets don't own the team that he's playing for now, the low Class A Columbia team, but they do own the St. Lucie team, the high Class A.
Okay.
And apparently, if you factor in, the tickets that are sold because he's playing, the the memorabilia and all of the refreshments that are purchased, it could mean $45,000 per game that would go to the Mets.
That's pretty good.
So they are thinking about calling him up to high Class A very soon. And by the way, I mean, he hadn't played since he was 15, so 230 with 3 bombs that's impressive.
I think so.
But he's not playing well enough to be called up just on those numbers.
Not on merit.
But he is playing well enough to call him up to
because
increase,
Major League, minor league baseball,
revenue.
they're about gimmicks.
Yeah, increase revenue.
He's a gimmick that people will go pay to see.